Hello, friends, and welcome to Like Anime, podcast where we'll talk about some anime. My name's George, and I'm joined by my buddy Tony.
Hello.
And we're here back again to talk about some spring 2021 anime. We got a whole new slate. What do we got, like 60 shows?
Yeah, 60 something. Somewhere between 60 and 70. 66, 67, I think. They keep adding new short ones that I don't even have on this list, actually. So,
And part of the reason we're doing this is because there's so much anime every, quarterly. 4 times a year they drop, a whole new batch, and it's hard to keep up, and we talk about it anyway. So we're going to go through this list and check it out. And please join us again if you're interested as we each week dive into what we're watching and see what's good.
all right. So, first up, we have the most anticipated, most popular anime of the season. You know it, we know it. Yes, it's the baby anime. No, I'm just kidding. My Hero Academia.
Yes.
Um,
My Hero.
yes, Boku no Hero Academia in Japanese, or just Hiroaka for short. I don't actually have a lot of notes on this one because it's My Hero Academia. I don't really need to have any notes. Yes, of course, I'm watching this.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much to say, and we'll be tuning in.
Yep, and we've both watched all of the previous 4 seasons, and this is the 5th season.
I will say, like, the last half of the previous season was sort of a lull. Like, it was entertaining. I can't remember. It had this one villain who was very fancy and ridiculous. I can't remember his name right now. But I'm hoping to get back to the meat of the story and the villains.
Yeah, it was very just sort of actiony and not a lot of character development. Like, not that there wasn't any character development, like there definitely was. Just there was a lot of just people punching each other for however many episodes it was. I don't even remember. I think I sort of stopped at some point. I don't remember what point that was, but I stopped watching it because I just was sort of tired of just watching people punch each other and nothing actually happened for multiple episodes.
I think you're referring to parts I do like.
You and a lot of other people, but
Yeah.
I'm in it for the characters.
Yes.
I like to see the character interactions. Although I hate filler, which is a lot of times the most character driven stuff. Like what was it, season 2, where they all were showing each other their dorm rooms. Like, yeah, that gives you more character information, I guess. I don't think it gave us any new information about the characters, but that was a really boring episode. I didn't like it.
Yeah, and fair enough.
And I like that less than people punching each other for 5 episodes. So,
well, it's best when the two come together, right? Like, the characters their arcs are driven and punctuated by the action that's happening. Like, and
yeah, like the beginning. So right before this big, people punching each other for 5 episodes thing, they had a really good setup with the characters, with Deku and was it Lemillion, that were really like just gung ho about saving this girl that they had met during their internship, I guess.
Yeah, they were out in the field and trying to get experience. Yeah, and
I loved all of that stuff. But then when it just got into them, like fighting, but it was. So one thing that shonen anime does is it drags out fights for multiple episodes, because there are so many people that love it and will just tune in every week to see, it was a cliffhanger last week, the Lemillion lost his powers, or spoilers for every season of My Hero Academia prior to this, by the way. So yeah, it works for a lot of people, but for me it was just like I would rather just fast forward to the end of the fight.
Yeah, and I feel like we're going to be doing an in-depth dive onto My Hero, because we have a mutual buddy, Colin.
Our first episode, we will be talking about the first episode of season 5, and we'll probably be harkening back to seasons 1 through 4 as well. So we don't need to really go too into depth here, even though we already have.
I have a lot of thoughts, but I'll hold them. I'll hold them.
But yeah, we have a lot to say about My Hero Academia, but we should probably move on.
Yes.
Next up on the list is How Not to Summon a Demon Lord Omega. I'm not going to bother to say the Japanese title. I didn't watch any. I think there's one other season. This is a second season. I didn't watch it. No interest in watching this one.
Yeah, same for me. I know it's based on a light novel and it has isekai in the Japanese title. So if you know if those two things mean anything to you, it kind of probably sums up what it's about.
And then we've got the Slime Diaries, which, speaking of isekai, this is based on the well-known slime anime isekai, but this is like a side story. It's the Diaries of the Rimuru, I think, is the name of the main character in the slime anime, the slime isekai.
Yeah, this is a show that you like that I haven't seen.
I do like it. I watched, I don't even remember, 18, 19 episodes of the first season, and then kind of, it sort of realized the end of the arc that it was in, and it seemed like a good ending point, and I never picked it back up after that. So I'm not up to date on the original, but this side story looks interesting. I mean, it's slice of life, which is right up my alley, and it was an anime that I was interested in to begin with. So
yeah,
this is on my to watch list.
And I believe I was reading about it, and I think there's a manga spinoff that this is based off of. That the same
this is
author.
based on a manga.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty cool. The same author and stuff. So.
But I think you're probably not watching this.
I'm not, but I reserve the right to check it out after I hear you talk about it.
Okay. I mean, it's slice of life, so I don't, I think you only probably engage in one slice of life per season, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I like slice of life, but it has to have something, I don't know, some part of it to draw me in, but we'll see.
Yeah.
There's so many shows.
Next up is Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun, second season. I did watch the first season of this one. I believe I watched all of the first season of this one. Maybe only the first half. I actually don't remember. And it was fine, and it was entertaining. It was, fairly light and not terribly interesting. So I dropped it at some point, either at the end of that season or halfway through that season. I don't actually remember. But I'm not planning to watch this one, even though it's a fine anime. It's just,
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and I probably won't.
Yeah.
At this point,
I'm not recommending it or trying to highly recommend it or anything. It was interesting and entertaining for a while, and I kind of lost interest. So
yeah, it looks fine. Like it doesn't look, yeah.
All right, and next up is maybe a controversial show. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're not watching this one. It does have some HE vibes to it, and I'm not too sure about it. But it looks interesting enough to try it for an episode. That's probably about all I'm going to give it, unless it proves itself to be something more than what it looks like, which it probably won't.
Yeah, it seems to be going for that sort of titillating, taboo kind of, just sexual kind of show doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, I think.
The kind of thing I would have been really into when I was like 13.
Jumping back to Iruma-kun real quick. I dropped the first season after episode 10. I have that in my notes. I just didn't look at them before, so sorry.
Okay.
And then next up we have Shaman King.
Yeah, Shaman King. I used to read the manga when I was in high school, and I'm a fan. I'm not a huge fan, but I was excited about this coming out. But not only is it picked up by Netflix, Netflix jail, so it won't come out, in America officially, legally, for a few months at least. But I don't know. Tony and I watched a bunch of trailers for a lot of these shows, and I was really excited about Shaman King. Watched the trailer, and it honestly doesn't look that good. Like the animation looks like kind of bare bones and not really interesting.
Yeah, it reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Somehow, which I don't know. There's an original Shaman King animation too. From what year did you say? Did you ever watch that one?
I never watched the original anime. Yeah, or the original adaptation.
Yeah,
but I used to read the manga.
Oh, okay. But there's an older adaptation that looks better than this one looks.
Yeah.
Is about all I could say, I guess.
I just assumed that since they were readapting it into another anime, that they were going to give it some sort of lush treatment or like do something special with it, but it honestly doesn't look like that. I'll still check it out, but my hopes have been dashed.
Yeah, if anything, it looks like what they were trying to do with this was make it appeal to kids more. It looked kind of kidsy, which is my comparison to Yu-Gi-Oh! It's sort of a kids show to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I will probably check it out once it's out of Netflix jail, but I'm not holding out much hope for watching more than one or two.
Yeah,
it doesn't look good.
We'll see. I mean, maybe the story and voice acting and music are just really good to make up for the animation, but we shall see.
And then next up, we've got I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. So another slime isekai, which this one is not based on the well-known slime isekai, but in sort of doing some research and watching trailers and stuff, I think it might be like a slice of life Iyashike thing, the healing anime thing.
Okay.
So I'm not going to watch it, but I'm going to keep my eye on, social media sources talking about it. And if it sounds like it's something that I should add to my watch list, I probably will. But I'm currently not planning on watching it.
Same. I haven't watched the much more popular other slime show, so I have no reason to, watch this new one. But yeah, and what you just said, I echo that as well for a lot of these shows. There might be something that doesn't look interesting to me now, but everyone's going to be talking about, and I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that's how I got into Boku no Hero was, it was so popular. And I was like, what is the big deal with this show? It looks like a shonen battle anime, not really my thing. And so then I decided to check it out. And yeah, I was surprised. I really liked all the characters, and yeah, been watching it for 4 seasons now. So
yeah, that says something.
And then next we have To Your Eternity, or I haven't been saying the Japanese titles at all. So Fumetsu no Anate. This one is it's going to be 20 eps, so it's gonna run longer than the season. It looks like it's going to be running into next season a little bit. My note here is that it is by the mangaka of Koi no Katachi. The voice one, Sound of Your Voice, is that what it's called? What is it?
Silent Voice.
A Silent Voice, right?
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So the mangaka that wrote Koi no Katachi.
Cool.
Wrote this, and it's being adapted from that, and it looks like the adaptation looks beautiful. The story looks great. Yeah, I can't think of a reason not to watch this, unless maybe you didn't like A Silent Voice, and then maybe you just don't like this mangaka's work and might not like this. I don't know, but I will definitely be watching it.
Yes, this is on my list as well. Looking forward to it. It looks cool. I don't have much to add except that I noticed the opening theme is sung by Hikaru Utada, who did. She's done the theme for every Evangelion movie, rebuild of Evangelion, and so that's how I know her. But yeah, it looks good, and yeah, I hope it delivers.
Yeah, I think that is probably my number 2 most anticipated of this season. We haven't got to my number 1 yet.
Oh, nice.
But it looks really good.
That's got high hopes.
Yes. I hope it lives up to my hope.
Yeah.
Up next we have Combatants Will Be Dispatched, aka Sentoin. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to stop saying the Japanese titles.
Thank God. So there's a couple in here that only have a Japanese title. So
yeah, that's true. In that case, I'll probably say the Japanese title.
We'll have to be forced to.
But yeah, Combatants Will Be Dispatched. Looks mildly amusing at best, is what I have written in my notes, and I do recall that it didn't look great. Nothing stunning about the animation or anything. It was I'm not planning to watch this one. It's just it looks really standard fare, and I don't know, nothing great or spectacular about it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I one thing I did notice is I was looking at some of the staff on these new anime, and this one I didn't know the name, but Hiroaki Akagi. He's also directing another show this season, those Snow White Notes.
Oh,
And there's another director who's doing two this season, but
really?
like that one looks those Snow White Notes looks a little more interesting than this one, but I don't know. He's doing double duty.
Hmm. And you didn't say whether you're watching this one or not.
No,
not.
I agreed with you, and
okay.
didn't really catch my eye.
It doesn't look super special or anything. I'm sure it's fine, but there's a lot of fine anime out there. I'm looking for the good stuff.
Ditto.
All right. What happened when I shaved my beard? No, I'm asking you, what happened?
You looked really young with a baby face.
Yeah, that does happen. No, the next anime is What Happened When I Shaved My Beard, or the Japanese title translate to something like I shaved my beard and then I picked up a high school girl, I think is a pretty close translation of what the title is. It looks cute. The plot looks questionable. I mean, we're talking about a 20-something-year-old that's dating a high school girl, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know.
It's no Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, could be actually.
Maybe.
It, like I say, questionable sounding plot, but it looks cute and it looks like the animation looks good and everything. So I'm gonna try it and see where it goes. But I don't know. I'm not expecting a lot.
I like a good romantic drama. I'm not gonna watch this one right away. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. See if it's well written and has interesting characters. But
yeah, we'll find out, I guess. Moving on to the next one, we've got Eden's Zero. So if you, I don't know if you remember this one, George, but you remember Happy from Fairy Tail? The cat? Yeah,
yes.
He's in this one with the same name.
Oh, really?
And then we've got a character that looks like the main character from Fairy Tail. He has a different name, but looks like pretty much the same guy.
It literally does look like the same. Is it supposed to be the same character, or is it just
no,
ripoff?
He has a different name. It's by the same person, so it's not a ripoff exactly.
I see.
It's just a I don't know, self ripoff. I don't know. It's sort of a clone. It's
that worked. Let's do that again.
I don't know if this mangaka just has one track mind and everything that he draws looks the same, or what the deal is there. But it looks like a Fairy Tail clone. I watched Fairy Tail for a while. I got bored with it. I can't think of any reason why I would want to watch this one. So
I mean, with this character, repeating yourself, it's like, meanwhile, One Piece has like 1,000 different characters and they're all uniquely different.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, I this looks like a type of show that I might like, but we watched the trailer and I don't know. Maybe this will be one that everyone's talking about and we got to check it out. But I'm going to be skipping it for now.
I mean, all of the Fairy Tail fans will be talking about it.
Sure.
It's just, as far as I can tell, Fairy Tail in space, I think, if I remember right. Something like that.
All right.
I don't know. It was Fairy Tail with something else, sort of peppered onto it. Yeah, okay.
There's stars.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, yeah. Fairy Tail in space. Moving on to the next one. Osamake, the rom-com where the childhood friend won't lose. My notes here say standard harem nonsense, and I think that sums it up pretty well. So I'm not going to be watching this one.
Yeah, this one isn't even on my list of what I'm looking at, but I'll probably pass.
Oh, really? It must have moved down the list or something.
Maybe. We'll get to it later. But yeah, or I'll see it later probably. But yeah, another harem show, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like a very good one, to be honest with you. So then the next one we've got is Moriarty the Patriot, Part 2. I watched a little bit of the first season of Moriarty. I didn't get into it. It just wasn't my thing. It seemed to be well done and everything. So if it's your thing, you're probably looking forward to this. I, however, just don't have any interest in this, so skipping it.
Production IG. Yeah, I'm sure it's legit. I've never seen it. It looks decent, but it's kind of hard. I mean, we're starting this podcast now. So things we are caught up on, season 2s and 3s and whatnot, yeah, we're going to be watching. But to go back and just watch a whole first season just to be able to talk about it, I don't know. Let us know if you love this show. Like, give us a reason why to dive in.
So then next is Zombieland Saga Revenge. Um, I did watch the first season. I actually don't know how many I watched because I didn't write it in my notes, but I dropped the first season and I gave it one of the worst ratings that I give things. I gave it a 4 out of 10, which is not like the worst, but I'm usually pretty generous. Like if you're like average, fine, you do the things you need to do to make like a decent anime, you're gonna get a 6. A 5 is something that's bad. So if you're a 4, you're really bad. And as I recall, it's like an idol anime where the idols are zombies or living dead of some sort. And I don't know, wasn't my thing. Not that idol anime isn't my thing, not that zombies aren't my thing, just the way it was put together. I wasn't into it, so I won't be watching this one either.
I've never seen any of it. Is it like I get what you're saying, but does it have that ecchi, titillating factor to it, or does it like keep it?
I don't remember there being much ecchi.
Oh, okay.
What I remember is I don't remember how many episodes I watched, if it was 1 or 3 or what, but there was this guy who went around and found like zombie girls because the earth was basically taken over by zombies at that point, and he found like high school zombie girls, and then he basically abducted them and locked them in a room and then taught them how to sing and dance or something. Like,
wow.
Yeah, does this sound like
it's a dedicated talent scout?
Yeah. Well, zombie apocalypse, you've only got so many choices, I suppose.
Yeah,
so.
and you're bored, so
yeah.
I mean, who's left to hear these idols? But anyway, the zombies, maybe, I don't know. They got zombie
I actually don't remember who the audience was. Maybe it was just them singing for zombies or something. Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. I think if it was played for laughs, it would be really good. But it sounds like it's kind of has more of a serious, like
I mean, I think
itself seriously.
I think it is played for laughs a bit, but like, I guess before I started watching it, I was mentally comparing it to Gakko Garashi, School Live, which you'll remember is like a cute moe zombie anime. And I guess I was hoping for something like that, except with idols, and it wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I mean, maybe that's on me.
Yeah, sometimes that happens, and clearly it's popular. It's coming back, but
yeah, I mean, they're making a second season, so there must be some people that like it. And if you're one of those people out there and you're listening to this, get in the comments and tell me why I'm wrong and why I should go back and rewatch that first season and start watching the second season, because I will. I really didn't like it, to be honest with you, but I didn't hate it. I have rated things lower than a 4, so a 4 was not generous, but it could be worse.
Looking at my notes, I did notice I wrote down, because I was looking at some of the staff, like I said, but this director, if I get this right, Morihisa Sakai, he directed about 150 episodes of One Piece, and he also directed the One Piece movie Strong World, which I haven't seen yet, but it's one of the more beloved ones. I'm a big One Piece fan, for the record, but that kind of intrigued me, but I mean, that's just, the direction. So I don't know, that little tidbit there.
I mean, direction has, a significant effect on the overall, but, art direction obviously has an effect too. And of course the source material. So
yeah, definitely.
Which I assume this is an adaptation from a manga. I'm actually not sure.
Actually, no, it's original.
It's original?
From what I gathered, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, let's move on to Fruits Basket, the final season. Is everyone excited about this?
Oh boy, I'm behind.
Yeah, I'm behind as well, but I'm still excited about it. I'm excited that they're going to finish it, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't last time.
That's probably what'll spark me actually watching all of it in its entirety. The new adaptation is that it'll be done.
Yeah. That's pretty much where I'm at. Like, I watched the first episode of this newest adaptation, and it was fine. Everything was great about it. It just, some of the characters looked different and, maybe acted a little different and stuff, which is to be expected because I suppose this is, for what I've heard, this is more true to the original manga.
Yeah, it's like a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or something. Like it's doing like more faithful adaptation.
Right. And so I watched that and I was really excited when I heard that they were redoing it and they were actually going to finish it. And I watched that first episode, and I didn't dislike it, but I guess maybe I just wanted to see them actually finish it before I even bothered to start it.
Yeah. I'm the same.
So I am looking forward to this. I will be watching this at some point in the future, but not this season because I am behind.
Me too. And we're gonna I think in the future we're gonna have to both watch it and do like a whole episode just talking about Fruits Basket.
And I feel like maybe we have to rewatch the original adaptation as well.
Maybe,
maybe do a and B comparison sort of thing in there somewhere too.
Yeah. I think that'd be worthwhile.
Yeah. So look forward to that special coming to you in 2024. Or maybe earlier.
Yeah. No later than then. How's that?
So next up is something that probably a lot of people are hyped about. Megalobox 2 Nomad. Or as it's known in English, or in Japanese, Nomad Megalobox 2.
Wow.
I watched the first season for a while, and it looked gorgeous, and like the story was fine, but it didn't really grab me, and I just kind of got bored with it, and I stopped watching it. I think it's one of those that sat on my like watching list for a long time as I fell behind until maybe like a year later I finally said, all right, I'm just going to put that on the on hold list. It hasn't been dropped. I have not dropped it. I do still plan to go back to it at some point, but yeah, I didn't make it through the first season. I'm sure the second season is going to be just as gorgeous and the story is going to be just as good. But I really need to finish that first season before I watch this, I think. So I won't be watching this.
I hadn't seen it when it came out or since, but I knew about it and I wanted to see it. And so I've already started watching the first season, 3 episodes in, and I plan to be caught up by the time this airs. I feel like we should cover it. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be popular.
Yeah,
enough.
People will be talking about it. And
I mean, in my list here, it's the 16th most popular, but below Zombieland Saga somehow. But
Well,
anyway,
hey.
No accounting for taste.
Yeah, as you always tell me.
And then next up, we have Tokyo Revengers. I don't even remember what this is based on the title, so I'm gonna have to look at my notes.
I'm watching this. I know that.
I am also watching this. All right. What are my notes? Oh, this is the he's like a gangster or something, right? No, it's a high school kid who he's like a troubled high schooler. He gets into a lot of trouble. And then when he's older, he gets sort of pulled back through time to sort of, I guess, maybe correct the mistakes that he made then and try and, I don't know. The concept looks really interesting. I wish I remembered more of exactly what it was about. But yeah, the concept seemed really interesting. It looks like it may be very much an action-y sort of show, which may drive me out of it at some point. But for now, I'm kind of excited about it. It looks good.
Cool. Yeah, me too. I don't have much more to add. I'm just looking forward to checking it out and talking about it.
All right. Well, then let's move on to 8686. You can go ahead and talk about this one if you want. I only have one thing to say about it.
I mean, it's not on my list to check out. It's based on a light novel. I don't know. It just looks kind of boilerplate to me. I don't know. Maybe this will be another one that people are talking about, but we watched the trailer and I just nothing really stuck with me.
Yeah. So while I was sitting there listening to, I realized I had more than one thing to say. The one thing that I thought that I had to say was it's mecha, but it's not actually mecha, but it's mecha, but it's mecha. they control these robot things somehow or whatever. I don't know. I don't really care. But
You're
the
not
other
a big
thing,
fan of mecha.
yes, I'm not a big fan of mecha. And the other thing I realized that I had to say was the animation didn't look very good. Yeah, the style of it. Maybe it's just my personal preference, but it just didn't look good to me. So
No, I agree with you. I mean, even this promotional image that they have for it just looks like slapped together. Like I don't know, and maybe it looks like the robot, whatever they are, mecha things are kind of 3D CG animation going on, and I'm just concerned that it won't mesh well because that's often an issue with the 2D animation.
Yeah, I kind of remember like the trailer just looking kind of bad. It wasn't awful. It wasn't like the worst, but it was not good.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of not good, no, just kidding. I don't know what's next. Next is Full Dive. The ultimate next gen Full Dive RPG is even shittier than real life, aka Sword Art Clone.
Yeah, I feel like if this is bad, it's already set itself up to be made fun of with having shittier in the title.
Yeah,
like...
I mean, it may be that that's part of what they're doing. Like, there have been a lot of isekai lately that make fun of isekai, but they're still isekai, and I think maybe this is it. They're making fun of, the Sword Art virtual game isekai sort of stuff, maybe, but it doesn't look very good.
I like the idea of making fun of an isekai that makes fun of itself, but it bothers me sometimes when they try to have it both ways, where it's like we want to make fun of the genre, but we also just want to be like a rote, what you expect version of an isekai.
Yeah,
like it needs some sort of like one of these shows that's doing this kind of thing, trying to be meta. It needs to have some sort of like clever, angle or twist to it, but.
Well, we can talk about Last Dungeon from last season if you would like, because I think that does that very well. But this show particularly looks like it really is just a Sword Art clone, and maybe they have a few jabs and jokes in there about the genre, but it's pretty much just the standard full dive RPG game thing that Sword Art did. Like I don't really see much difference, and it looks like it's nothing new going on here.
And Full Dive, we can move on after this, but it just makes me think of HigeDive. Which is another anime streaming service that you can get.
This one, as far as I know, isn't on HigeDive. It's going to be on Funimation.
It'd be nice if it was on HigeDive. Be easy to remember.
Yeah, I mean, it probably will be on HigeDive in like 2 years.
Eventually, yeah.
That's how it goes with HigeDive. Unfortunately, they don't seem to have the budget of Master Lord Sony. So,
yes.
All right, and I guess that's enough shitting on this Sword Art clone, and I mean a little bit shitting on Sword Art, I guess. Let's move on to the Saint's magic power is Omnipotent, which looks interesting. I don't think there was a whole lot of information or visuals or anything available for this one when I last looked at it. But it looks like it might be a slice of life, and it might be a Yashike, which is, in fact, my bag in anime. So I will be checking this one out to see if it is, and if it's not, I might get bored with it.
And what is that?
Yashike?
Yeah.
That's that healing anime, as you call
really?
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yashike.
Yashike.
I mean, from the synopsis, it sounds like a isekai, whisked to a new world, but
yeah,
which is whatever. But I did notice that, not that I've seen either of these shows, but I know of them. The director of this adaptation directed Girlish Number, as well as Domestic Girlfriend, and I've heard of both of those.
I watched some Domestic Kanojo.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'm actually remembering more about this now. I'm remembering the beginning of the trailer where she sort of steps through her front door, and then there's these like sort of symbols or whatever sort of appear, and then she disappears. I don't know if you remember this. We watched the trailer together, but
vaguely.
And then the synopsis that I read said something about she is summoned to this other world by the people in that other world who were trying to summon a saint who would save their society. But something got messed up, and she and another girl were both summoned at the same time,
Oh.
and everyone likes the other girl better. And so she just gets a job at like I don't know, the local grocery store or something, I guess. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, it seems like it's very slice of life. Like she's just chilling, like she was summoned to this world as a saint who was going to save society, and she just gets a job.
And she's a
you
total
know,
letdown for them.
yeah. And she's just
That's
like,
fun.
she's like, all right, well, I'll just make a life here and, be a normal person. I don't have to be this saint savior thing or whatever. Anyway, it looks interesting. It looks cute. Yeah, I am kind of looking forward to this one.
I'm mildly curious, given your description. I don't plan on checking it out right when the first episode comes out, but maybe if you really love it, I might.
Yeah, I think the first thing that we saw of it didn't actually look that good. But then when I read more about it and saw, I think it was maybe the second trailer, because I think we watched like a teaser trailer originally.
Yeah.
Which didn't have a whole lot of meat to it or any voice acting, as I recall.
Not much to go off of.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, I'll be watching that one. Sounds like George is not going to, but he will, maybe check it out later if I tell him that it's the most amazing thing ever made.
Well, it doesn't have to be that high praise, but I mean, just for the record, anyone listening, I mean, Tony is going to be watching 31 shows, I believe, first episodes, right?
Actually, it looks like I've trimmed it to 30.
Okay, wow, you got one. And I'm going to be watching 11, I think, is on my list.
Is the number I have, yeah.
And I'm doing that on purpose because I don't want to overwhelm myself, and I'm just trying to pick things that I think will interest me that look good. But I'm reserving the right to branch out and check out other stuff too.
And I'm watching approximately half of all of the anime coming out this season because I have a lot of free time.
And we're doing a podcast, so
and
why
I like
not?
Anime. I really do. Like I love. There have been times in the past where I made it my mission, my goal to watch at least the first episode of every single anime coming out, whether it looked like garbage or not. I'm not going to torture myself this season with that because the ones that look like garbage usually are.
True.
There's occasional surprises, but yeah, so I am watching a lot.
And that's part of the reason we wanted to do this podcast is, you watch a lot more anime than I do, but we both watch anime, every year, and we talk about it with each other. So let's document it. All right.
And I feel like I'm probably going to end this season watching as many shows as you start this season with. So we'll see if you make it through with all of the ones you're watching, and maybe we'll end with the same number.
And I may gather some more along the way.
Yeah, that's true. So next up is It's Disgusting to Call This Love, which I'm not sure about this translation of the Japanese title. Disgusting is, maybe it's right. It feels bad to call this love would be probably my translation. Not that I'm fluent in Japanese, but
this is the Koi to Yobu ni wa Kimochi Warui.
Yes.
Okay.
Kimochi warui feels bad. That's
feels bad.
yeah. To call this love feels bad is essentially the. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm not here to translate Japanese for you because I don't even speak Japanese fluently, as I said. This one, again, this is an adult falling in love with a high school girl for seemingly no reason. But in this case, instead of it turning into a cute romantic thing, it turns into a weird stalkery sort of romantic thing somehow. I don't really understand. Yeah. I am going to watch an episode of this just to confirm that it is not something that I want to watch. It might turn out to be, cute romantic comedy thing, and like it might not bother me that this adult male is stalking this high school girl.
Yeah.
I think it's going to bother me.
Yeah, I like a good romance, rom-com, romantic drama, these kind of things. But yeah, I'm glad you're checking it out. You're doing the Lord's work, and add this to the list of I'm curious to see how it goes for you.
I have hopes that it won't be as bad as I think it will be, but I think it'll be as bad as I think it will be. So, moving on, we've got Mars Red. Do you remember this one, the vampire?
I do, yeah. As far as I could tell, this is also an original Doesn't seem to be adapted from anything. But yeah, 1923 vampires. I know it's that kind of story, but we watched the trailer and I don't know, it didn't draw me in, or I don't know.
So after we watched the trailers together, I went and I watched a lot of the trailers again, um, by myself, just because like some of these I couldn't remember because while we were going along, you were sort of making your list and I was just watching them. So then I wanted to actually make my list of what I'm watching.
Yeah.
And so I had to watch them all again. And the concept of this is interesting. It's 1923, as you said. These are vampires that are being forcibly conscripted into the army, which sounds like an interesting concept. But the whole military thing, like, there are very few military animes that I can think of that I've liked. Gate, for example, was one that I did like. You did not like that one, though, as I recall. But yeah, vampires in the army sounds cool. The army part, maybe not so much. But the fact that they're being like sort of forcibly conscripted, and I'm guessing there's going to be some sort of rebellion coming, at least I hope. Yeah, I'm sort of looking forward to seeing all of that develop. So it looks good enough to give it a couple episodes. And they also have a chibi animation that they've been releasing on YouTube about this, where it's just a couple of chibi characters talking to each other. And I've been watching that to kind of get an idea of, who the characters are. To be honest, most of them I don't care for that much, but I don't know. I don't know if the chibi animation plays into my liking of this at all. They're short. They're like 1 minute
nice.
chibi things where it's just two characters talking to each other. But I watched a whole bunch of that just to kind of get a feel for it, and it wasn't enough to drive me away from it. So I guess I don't know.
This sort of just real quick reminds me of an old anime called Record of Lotus War, which is more of a fantasy show. But it was such a serious show, and it was so bogged down in its own like lore and what was going on. It almost kind of sort of had like a militaristic style, like we're moving our troops and we're planning our thing. And it was so boring. But at the end of every episode, I would have like this chibi like 2 minute like recap of what just happened, and it was far more entertaining than watching the actual show. And I feel like a lot of these like military shows or like some of these high fantasy shows, like they just get so bogged down in their own what's going on, and some people really like that, but I just, it puts me to sleep. I need something. I need some good characterization, some something else to sink my teeth into than just watching troops be dispatched and
I'm hoping that there's some more character depth with this one. It for some reason, it gives me some vibes of Golden Kamui, which doesn't have a whole lot of like actual active military stuff. But it gives me the feeling of Golden Kamui with the military things, which are present in it, but hopefully not the main focus of this. Because if it's the main focus, then I probably won't watch very much of it. But I'm hoping that there's more character drama,
Yeah, me too.
The next up is The World Ends With You, the animation.
Yes.
This is the based on a video game, I believe. Do you know anything about this video game?
Yeah, I played it a little bit. I really like the art style of it. It's very kind of dynamic, and the color palette's very bright. I don't remember a lot about the video game, to be honest with you. I know it's really popular. I didn't get huge into it, but I like the aesthetic of the game enough that I'm going to be checking this out. And the trailer looked cool, so I don't know. I'm curious about it.
Yeah, the animation in this looks good. I assume there's some 3D, to it. At least it looked like there was probably some 3D rendering too, but like based on hand drawn, it looked like. And obviously based on the video game's animation style, I would assume. But it looks well done animation-wise. I'm not really big into video games, so I haven't played it. I hadn't even actually heard of it prior to this anime coming out. But it looked okay, and I'm willing to give it a try and see if it resonates with me in some way. Yeah, we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Next up, we've got Dragon Goes House Hunting. This looks cute and funny, and it's clearly a slice of life. Probably Iyashike.
Mm.
Yeah, I will. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna watch this whole thing.
Okay, committing up front.
I'm pretty sure. Like it would have to be. Yeah, it'd have to be bad, and it doesn't look like it could possibly be bad enough for me not to watch it. It looks cute and funny, and my sort of thing.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I haven't added it to my list yet, but I don't know. It's on that line, so we'll see. We'll see.
And next up, we've got Shadow's House. This is this is the Cloverworks one. Looks dark, beautifully animated, of course, as one would expect from Cloverworks. Story wise, this one, as I recall, was one that really didn't have a lot of information in the trailer that we were able to see. But it looked just visually stunning, like just Cloverworks.
Yeah, yeah, and for that reason alone, I'm signed up.
Yeah, I am definitely on board for watching some of this one. It looks too beautiful to not at least give it a chance to prove that there's something more than just the visuals.
And it's curious. I'm curious too because it's listed here on Life Chart as a seinen and slice of life, which is sort of a odd combo. I don't see that a lot. I don't think.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, most slice of life is either shoujo or
yeah, kind of targeted towards a younger audience, whereas
yeah,
seinen is more of more of an adult. Not that it's
trying to
graphic
get
or
into the
anything, but
dramas and the like the deep dramas and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm guessing maybe the dark content of this one is maybe what pushes it into seinen more than shonen, I guess. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. And so next up we have Vivy, Fluorite's Eye Song, which sounds like 4 words that don't make sense together.
this is also, as far as I can tell, this is also an original work.
I said the title wrong. It's Vivy Fluorite Eyes Song, not Vivy Fluorite's Eyes Song. Sorry.
Fluorite Eyes.
Yeah, I put the S in the wrong place.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense either way. It doesn't really matter that I said it wrong, but yeah.
Hey, you got that confusing name wrong.
The story sounds interesting, and the visuals look. Oh, sorry, I just moved off my mic for a second. The story sounds interesting, and the visuals look goo, is what my notes say. I think it is probably supposed to be a D there. This is Wit Studios. I made a note to put that in there.
I like when my characters look like goo.
It looks like it has pleasing visuals, and the story is interesting enough to make me want to watch it, even if they weren't as nice, I guess.
It's not on my list, but I'm curious about it because looking at the synopsis and stuff, it's about like a futuristic theme park, and I don't know, I like that. I'm into theme parks in general, so I'll await your review on this one as well.
I'm for some reason I made a note that it was Wit Studios, and I don't remember what they've done. Are they the ones that did like the first several seasons of Attack on Titan? Was that
I think
Wit?
so, yeah.
Okay,
I think so,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so they're good they draw stuff good.
Yeah, Attack on Titan, yeah, that's what they're most known for.
Okay. Yeah, and this one looks I actually don't even know what genres this one is, but I assume drama.
Maybe it's listed as sci-fi.
Sci-fi?
Yeah.
I love sci-fi. So
yeah. And that's it.
I'm on board.
And this one's also on the line for me. I may have to end up checking this out.
And next up we have I'm not even sure how people say the title of this. Is it just SSSS Dynazenon, or is it quadruple S-Dynazenon. I don't know how people say the name of this.
Well, I know this is. I don't think this is a sequel, but it's like in the same universe as Gridman, which is also SSS. But I think people just say Gridman.
Yeah,
honestly. So Dynazenon is probably good enough. It's Studio Trigger, which I am a big fan of, but I've never seen Gridman, so I don't know if I can just jump into this. Or if,
I mean, that's where I'm at too. It's like, do I need to have seen Gridman first? I guess I could watch it and find out, but I'm not that interested in it to just do that, I guess. So
yeah, when I was looking this one up, I noticed that the score of the show is done by Shiro Sagisu, who I am a big fan of. He did Bleach, and he did Evangelion, and he's done a lot of Gainax stuff, like His and Her Circumstances, and he's like a legend as far as scoring anime goes. And I'm a big fan, but I don't know, it's kind of weird to just check out a show for the music, but maybe I will.
I mean, I've got worse reasons for checking out shows, I think.
That's true.
All right, next up we've got Godzilla Singular Point, or Gojira SP. No, I think it's actually just Godzilla SP at this point, even in Japanese.
Yeah, they like Godzilla more.
Yeah, they've switched it over. So my notes for this say mecha, but also Godzilla. It's kind of a toss up. This one is a Netflix show as well, but it looks like it is going to actually be releasing on schedule.
Really?
I don't know if it's releasing week by week or what the deal is, but from what I was able to tell, it should be on American Netflix the same time. Well, actually, it sounds like it should be on American Netflix before it's actually released on Japanese television.
The whole thing, or?
I don't think they're doing the whole thing at once. I think it's going to be week by week, episode by episode. There's like 3 that I have on my list that I have listed as being not Netflix jail, but Netflix. Like I have, so on my notes, I have what licensors have picked up the shows, whether it's Funimation or Crunchyroll or Netflix. And for this season, I had to make Netflix Plus and Netflix Minus. Netflix Minus means it's in Netflix jail. We're not going to see it till July. Netflix Plus means that I believe it's going to be coming out as it airs. But
I'm very curious about that, because that would be a first for Netflix. With any show ever that they pick up, it's always
and like season. I say, there's 3 shows this season that Netflix picked up that appear to be coming out in that manner. So cool. I guess we'll find out. But I do plan on watching this one. It's mecha. I'm not into mecha. I'm probably going to drop it unless it's spectacular.
It's not on my list, but I'm just thinking right now, I'm going to have to. Oh, you're fine. I'm going to have to check it out, I think. I know Bones is working on it, as well as Studio Orange.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
It's also, it's Godzilla related, but it's an original property, aside from that. So, original story, I guess. But
Godzilla, Studio Bones, and Studio Orange. Yeah. So how can you say no to this?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Gonna have to. Yeah. Gonna have to.
I can see why Netflix picked this up. All right. Next up on our list is Burning Kabaddi. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Kabaddi?
Yeah, Kabaddi. That's what I go with.
Yeah. So it's a sports anime, and there are a lot of sports anime out there, and some of them are good and some of them aren't. This one doesn't look particularly good. It's not a sport that I'm particularly interested in, which makes me interested in it because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to watch this because, sports anime.
Which kind of reminds me of Chihaya Furu, which I'm still not caught up on, but I really like that show. But it's a sports anime about a Japanese card game, Karata, which, I'd never heard of. And it's a really great show. Like, so it reminds me of that in that sense, where it's like a sport or game that I've never heard of. And I kind of like that idea.
And there's like March comes in like a lion with shogi, which I knew nothing about, prior to watching that show. And I know almost nothing about after watching the show, but it's ostensibly about that.
Yeah.
But that one's much more of like, it's about the characters. It's about the drama. This one looks more like a Haikyuu sort of like, it's about the struggle to be the best that ever was, or something like that.
Perhaps, yeah. Although I think Haikyuu, I mean, we both aren't caught up on that, but I think there's a lot of character stuff.
No. I mean, Haikyuu is like a high tier example of that to me. Like Haikyuu is a good show. I enjoyed it when I watched it. I got bored with it because sports, but this one looks not as good as Haikyuu. So I'm gonna get bored with it because it's sports sooner, and in fact, so soon that I'm not watching it.
I will point out, Burning Kabaddi has the same director as the World Ends with You, which we already talked about. But that's the other one that I hinted at. Another director pulling double duty this season.
They look, I mean, visually look very different, of course.
Yeah.
Because the one's based on a video game, so they were kind of locked into a style. And I don't know if this is based on a manga or.
It is, yeah. It's a manga based on a manga.
So they're locked into the styles, and they've got their own animation departments for each separate show, but they've just got one director, kind of.
Yeah.
Interesting. Next up on the list is Kingdom Season 3. I have not watched the first 2 seasons. I assume this is the 3rd season because I've never even heard of this show.
I had heard of it, but yeah, I've never seen it. I was looking it up today, and I don't know. It looks kind of cool. Like we're very behind, and so I'm not going to be checking it out. But it looks like something that might be worthwhile.
When was season 1? Did you? You don't have to look it up. I just was wondering if you had that.
I don't remember.
No, I'm just wondering if it was like just so long ago that I missed it a long time ago, and then like season 2 came out, so I ignored it.
2012 is when the anime debuted.
Oh, okay.
Based on a manga from 2006.
I mean, that's a while ago, 8 years ago. I mean, 8 years to get to a 3rd season. So, okay. Yeah, I must have just missed it when it came out the first time, and then never found my way into it.
Yeah.
So if it's an amazing show, if you're out there, you're listening to us, and you've seen this, and it's an amazing show, and you want to tell us about it, how amazing it is, and convince us that we should go back and watch 2 full seasons so that we can watch this 3rd season, I'm open to that.
Please
convince me.
Make your case.
I just know nothing about it. I see season 3 and I say, well, I didn't watch the first 2, so I'm not going to look any further into it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the way it is. So the next up we have those Snow White Notes, Mashiro no Oto. I said the Japanese title that time because it was easy.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yep. I only have one note on this, and it says, nope. That's all I got. I don't know. It just...
Yeah, I mean, it didn't grab me either. It's some shuriken players, looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's anyone's guess, I suppose, but the trailer didn't grab either of us.
Yeah. I vaguely remember like thinking that maybe it had some boys love vibe or something. I might be wrong about that. I just it didn't appeal to me for whatever reason. And then we've got Joran, the Princess of Snow and Blood, or in Japanese, Joran, the Princess of Snow and Blood, apparently.
This is another original, which is fun. They're rare these days. And I'm interested in this one. This trailer looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. My note says, looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ditto.
It looks really good, like beautifully animated, story seems compelling. Yeah. There's no way I'm not watching this.
And it's set in 1931, which is the second show. I mean,
we had the 1923
from Mars Red, yeah. So it was kind of fun. We got some throwback time periods there. But yeah, we'll both be watching that. Not much more to say, I guess. We'll let you know.
It looks amazing. If you don't check it out, we'll tell you about it, and we'll tell you how amazing it is, and then you will regret that, and you'll go back and you'll watch it, and then we can say I told you so, I guess. I don't know.
Hopefully. I'm hoping this all pans out.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. Maybe you'll be the one saying that you told Well, not that you told us, but you could have told us had
you
you been given the opportunity to speak during this podcast.
idiots wasted your time.
You're not here, so you can't speak during our podcast. Get your own podcast.
And we never get anything done if the audience could chime in at any point.
Yeah, no kidding. Good God. I was actually thinking about that, like trying to do like a for like a Patreon support level, have like a watch us live stream the recording session, right?
Nice.
But we would have to have comments just like not visible to us because we would get so distracted by
That's
that.
true. That's true. Unless we did like a special episode of a live stream. But it'd be fun too, I think, along those lines, if you had like a call in, you know, if you want to call in and give your thoughts on you know, tell us, you know, where to stick it.
Yeah, that's right. If you think that Joran, the Princess of Snow and Blood, looks like hot garbage, give us a call at 1-900 like anime. It's got to be a 900 number because we're not paying for it. We don't have any money. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, until we get Patreons. All right.
Cut all of this out.
No, it's fun. It's fun.
All right. Next up is Super Cub. So I'll start by saying, remember earlier when I said that was my number 2 anime of the season? This is my number 1.
Oh,
this is, I think this is a strong contender for best of season prior to the season even starting, right? Which, I mean, it can all get thrown to the wind or whatever. Like I would have put last season, I would have put the what was the one with the girl with the 2 different colored eyes? And oh wait, there was 2 of them.
Yeah.
What was the one with the other side picnic?
Yes.
Where we never saw a picnic? Yeah, I realized I just said the name of it.
Other side picnic.
Yeah, other side picnic. I would have put high. I would have put that number 2.
Oh wow.
And it dropped significantly, so much so that I dropped it after 6, I think, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about that. We'll cover it more later. But yes, things can change. This one looks like the thing that I'm going to love. In my notes actually say, looks effing great. Anime of the season ? So like, yeah, it looks amazing.
I love when we're on the same page because I feel similarly. I don't know if it's at my number 1, but it's if we're not counting returning series, then I probably would put it up there. I was checking out the manga, just looking at like stills of it and stuff, and it looks really awesome. Yeah. And so I don't know, that got me even more excited about it. But yeah, it looks like a motorcycle racing show with a cast of girls, and it looks just badass. Yeah,
it looks great. Well, I mean, motorcycle wouldn't be the word I choose. It's like a scooter, right? The Super Cub. It's a motor scooter, I think.
Okay.
I guess
it's a
motorcycle.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a Vespa-ish sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Like motorcycles?
Like motorcycles? What was I going to say? Oh, so this is this season's Wonder Egg priority, because I think last season we were both really gung-ho. Number 1, Wonder Egg priority looks like the best show.
Yeah.
And this is this season's version of that. And they have somewhat similar visual styles, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But yeah, looks great. Gonna watch it. I hope it pans out. I hope it doesn't shit all over me. We'll see. And you're also watching it, correct?
Yes, yeah. That is on my list for sure.
I believe you said that, but I just was not paying attention, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I was agreeing with you that, I'd be near the top of my list. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It'd be funny if I was like, I'm not watching it, but it
looks
really good.
This is number 1 on my list of animated watch this season. I'm not watching it, but it's number 1. Yeah. That wouldn't make any sense, George. So next up, 7 Nights Revolution Au no Keishosa? Fantasy Magic Bleh. That's my notes. I think it's so bleh that I can't even recall any visuals from it or anything. I actually have no idea what this is, other than I remember in the trailer they said they didn't say 7 nights. Well, they said 7 nights several times. Oh, it was the AU they said several times, I think. AU, which I think means night in Japanese. Yeah. Yeah, it just didn't look good. I wish I had more to offer, but it's so bland that I have purged it from my brain.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. So you're watching it then?
No, I'm not watching it.
Yes, I am also not watching it. Sayonara Watashi no Kramer. The first time I say the Japanese title, the first. Goodbye Kramer. Who's Kramer? It doesn't say in English for some reason.
Soccer show.
Yes.
I mean, which isn't to say that. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, it could be amazing. Like, sports animes are very hit and miss. There's a lot of them. Most of them are misses, I think. But there are good ones that hit. Like, I mean, I don't know. There are some that aren't even really sports anime, I suppose. Like, what's the name of that cooking one?
Food Wars.
Yeah, Food Wars is the American title or English title. Yeah, and that's essentially a sports anime about cooking, I think, and it's pretty good. I'm not caught up on it. I haven't finished it or anything, but you know, I enjoyed what I've seen of it.
Yeah, it's sports anime is kind of its own world. It's like there's good ones that kind of branch out and hit a more mainstream audience, but then there's people that just love their sports anime, and
and there's so many subgenres, like like I was talking about, like Haikyuu being sort of a little bit more character driven drama than like I don't remember Food Wars Japanese name. Food Wars, which is like the super hype, yeah. And then there's a lot of stuff in between those two as well.
Yeah. I mean, the ones that seem to remain in conversation and stick with people are the drama character driven sort of.
Yeah, I guess Food Wars is pretty character driven as well. Just not in the same way as, I don't know, it doesn't feel the same as Haikyuu.
I haven't spent a lot of time watching it. I just remember that a lot of the food tasting is quite orgasmic.
Which, if no one's watched it, Yakitate, fresh baked from way back when, is basically the origin of that. I think. Like, I feel like Food Wars just kind of ripped that show off a little bit. But that one's also more of a kids thing, whereas Food Wars is not as kidsy feeling, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, there's so much just within that one like small subgenre.
Yeah.
But we were talking about Sayonara Watashi no Kramer,
and clearly we don't have much to say about it.
It's about soccer, and we don't care. I think is what we came to.
But hey, once again, if this is all people are talking about, we're gonna have to check it out. But I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it. My first note just says meh. All right, Pretty Boy Detective Club. I could have said the Japanese title first that time, but I forgot to. I'm not going to say it now. No, just no.
Yeah, it's just.
I mean, Pretty Boy Detective Club.
I feel like I know what to expect. And
yeah. I don't have a lot to say about it. It is the title. From what I've seen, the title is fitting, and if that sounds like something you would like, I'll bet you'll like it.
These boys look quite fabulous. There's nothing against them.
They're very pretty boys.
As a show, I don't have time for it right now.
And I kind of wonder if they're actually good detectives, or if are they more pretty, or are they more detective-y?
Yeah, what's the split there?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Neither of us is watching that because it, just doesn't look like something that appeals to us. Doesn't mean it's bad. Just means it's not our thing. Next up, speaking of things that look bad.
Well, this is things that actually look, quote unquote, bad.
Yes. Cestus, the Roman fighter. Looks, I mean, I'd go beyond bad. I would say awful. It looks.
And maybe so bad it's good.
Awful.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, you're more into those sort of like so bad they're good things than I am.
Yeah.
I have a limit on how bad they can be. And this, I think, is beyond my threshold for how bad it looks.
No, I'm with you. Whatever that show was last season, I watched a couple episodes of, and Crunchyroll picked it up. I can't remember.
X-Arm.
Yeah, X-Arm, yeah. And it's one of those things. To me, it lies more in the intention Like with X-Arm, you could tell that they were trying their best and they were trying to make a good show, and they just completely failed visually. And yeah, it's just so many of the decisions are just amateurish and bad. But kind of like The Room, the famous live action movie. This is an anime.
They should make an anime.
Yeah, adaptation of The Room. That'd be awesome. But Tommy Wiseau, you can tell watching that movie, like he really tried,
Yeah,
but he failed, and that's the best. So I don't know if this Cestus Roman fighter thing, it's got the 3D kind of thing going on, which kind of sets them up already.
It's poorly done.
Yeah, like
the 3D,
like quickly done on a low budget, got that feel to it.
But yeah, it's I think it fits within your category of them trying their best, just that they aren't very talented. Either that or they're just trying to punch their 9 to 5 clock and get their job done so that they can feed their family, and they don't care what it looks like. They don't care what the end product is. They're not trying their best. They're just trying to make a paycheck. One of those two things might be true.
Does your list say who picked this up in America?
I have it as a Netflix minus.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah, so it's a Netflix jail.
Okay. I was hoping Crunchyroll would double down.
No, looks like it's Netflix jail for this one.
They picked up X-Arm, but all right.
Which is weird because one of the Godzilla SP looks good, and it's like, I can understand why Netflix would shell out money for this. And then this, I'm guessing everyone else must have passed on it, and Netflix got it for free.
Maybe, yeah.
Or pennies or something.
They must have,
It looks so bad. Just visually poorly animated. I don't know. The story could be amazing, actually. I couldn't get past how bad the animation was to even care about the story. Do you remember anything about the story?
I mean,
Roman something.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It looks like sort of gladiator-esque sort of, fighting thing. I don't know.
Yeah. We probably don't need to spend more time talking about the worst show of the season. Let's move on to Odd Taxi. Probably the oddest show of the season, in fact. It looks like a hoot.
It looks strange. I'm into it. It's on my list. It's got a lot of it's a cast of anthropomorphized animal human creatures, and yeah, I don't know, about a taxi driver picking up a bunch of weirdos, and shenanigans ensue, I suppose.
Yeah, and the taxi driver was what sort of animal was he? Do you remember? Was he a panda or something? Or I can't remember. I remember like one of the people he picks up is a llama, I think.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. There's a gorilla who works in a bar who he talks to and is friends with.
He might be a walrus.
Oh, is he a walrus?
I think he's
I do remember seeing a walrus in it, so maybe that's maybe he's the walrus taxi driver.
It may miss the mark, but it looks like it's like kind of a little zany, a little quirky kind of show.
It looks fun. Yeah. My notes just say looks odd in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that sums it up pretty well. And we're both watching it.
Heck yeah.
All right. Hopefully it lives up to the not hype. Is pretty low on our list, right? This is number 39 of we're more than halfway through the list at this point. And these are sorted by popularity on livechart.me. Right? It's .me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Livechart.me. And so it's fairly low in popularity, but it looks good. And this one is on Crunchyroll.
Okay, nice.
I have noted here. Next up is Blue Reflection Ray, which I couldn't find a whole lot of information about. I think it's based on a video game called Blue Reflection, is what I figured out. There's not much to go on from the trailer. It looks like it could be okay. It's got some Shoujo Ai vibes.
JC staff.
So we were talking about it when we were watching the trailers, and I talked a lot of trash about JC staff and how I wouldn't watch anything that said JC staff. And then I decided to go and look at what JC staff had done. And they have done a lot of things that I don't like, that are bad. But some of the things that they do are really, really good. Like some of my favorite animes are actually JC staff. And I didn't realize that.
I think it's just
Azumanga Daioh?
Oh, Azumanga Daioh, yeah.
Is JC staff.
I mean, they did Yeah.
And there's so many of the slice of life things
Mm.
that JC staff does really well, but anything else not so much. I guess I don't know.
I think it's just that they shell out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that might be it. They just
Yeah.
they catch a few good ones because they do so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might
And
be the case.
they also did a Revolutionary Girl Utena. Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't know
No.
that one.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great show. But they definitely haven't. They it's not fair to dismiss everything they do. But
Yes, and it's probably not fair to dismiss everything any studio does.
Yes.
There are probably some exceptions to that rule.
Yeah.
I just don't know what they are because I don't memorize the studio that does every anime. That's why, like, when I looked it up and I was like, oh, they did Azumanga Daioh, and there's probably 3 more anime on that list of things that JC staff has done that I absolutely love.
I mean, I don't know all of these. Like, I'm just looking at a list of their most popular, but a certain magical index, I know that's really popular. I've never seen it.
Didn't watch it.
Azumanga Daioh, like you said.
Yep.
They're the ones that did the season 2 of One Punch Man, which didn't look as good as the first, but
budget.
And Food Wars. They did Food Wars.
Oh yeah, okay, Food Wars.
Toradora, that's a sort of beloved rom-com.
Yeah, there's some more slice of life down that anime list somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. I don't remember which ones, but anyway, we've probably talked too much about JC staff.
Yes.
Blue Reflection Ray. There's not a lot to go on. I don't have a lot of information about this. I don't know what it's about. I barely know what it looks like from the trailer. So I'm gonna try it just to see. But I'm not holding out high hopes, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's about an outgoing girl who reaches out to people in need, and a socially awkward girl, and how they have some sort of relationship.
Yeah, that's the shoujo ai vibes I was talking about there.
Yeah.
Which might be the only redeeming thing about the show for me, I guess. Get a little shoujo ai in there. I'm, not gonna hate it as much, I guess. Because I is I, right? Love is love.
Love is love.
I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for boys' love.
Hey.
Not watching your yaoi, George. So yeah, I think I'm watching that. I don't think you're even gonna.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, yeah.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know if it's the most amazing thing that you passed on.
I'm guessing not, but yeah, let me know.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but we'll see. Next up is Bakuten with 2 exclamation points. I don't know why I said it's got 2 exclamation points. I don't know if that means it's a second season. Is it a second season? Let me look at my notes.
I don't think so. It's another sports show about men's rhythmic gymnastics.
Ah, yes. Sports, gymnastics. Yes, that's my notes.
I guess I can say I'm slightly more intrigued than compared to the soccer one, but I'm still not signed up to watch it. So
yeah, yeah, it didn't look great. I do remember seeing the trailer for the men's gymnastics anime. It didn't look bad. It's just, sports anime, so hit and miss. I didn't see a lot of character drama in the trailer. Not that they're probably going to really dive into that too much.
Yeah.
But it looked pretty middle of the road sports anime.
I had a passing interest years ago in Kaleido Star, which is a women's gymnastics anime. But yeah, I can't say that I finished it. But I watched a fair bit of it.
All right. So moving on, we've got Let's Make a Mug 2. Yes, please, let's. Slice of life, cute girls doing cute things, possibly a Yashike. It's right up my alley. I will be watching this.
This is not my list, but I may have to check it out. My mom is really into ceramics. She does pottery. She has multiple wheels. She has her own kiln. And I'm always trying to get her into anime to no avail. And this is cute girls making pottery. So I don't know. I might have to check it out or just see what you think of it. It does say here it consists of an anime portion and a live action portion. So
Oh,
I don't know if they're
I think I do remember reading that, but
wonder if they're showing you how to throw stuff or
oh, maybe,
part of
yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, because there was some slice of life cooking show a number of years ago that did sort of the same thing, where they, it was just a slice of life show about cooking in general, I think. And then at the end of the episode, they had a live action portion where they would show you how to make the dish that was featured in that episode. Um, so yeah, maybe something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, could be. I'm slightly curious.
yeah. I'm. It sounds too cute to not, so I'm watching it.
All right.
Next up, we've got Battle Athletes Victory Restart. So when we first watched the trailer for this, you said, "Well, it's a sequel, isn't it?" And it is not. It is a restart, as it says. It is
A reboot.
a remake, a reboot, whatever you want to call it, of an anime from, I believe it was from the 90s.
I don't know.
And I watched a little bit of the 90s anime to sort of get a feel for it, because as I recall, the trailer didn't give me a lot of idea about what was going on in this show. And it looked interesting enough. Looked like maybe something I would have watched in the 90s.
I'm looking up now. I might have seen this.
Oh yeah. And this remake, like, the visually looks good, like looks well done. My only concern is that maybe it's too much sports, because it is a sports anime again,
Interesting.
or sports ish,
Yeah.
sports e.
Sports-esque.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. That tickles me just because it's a throwback, I don't know, to an old property, but
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of just want to watch the old one, but
yeah.
but I'm gonna hold out, and I'm gonna watch this one, and if it disappoints, I'll go back and watch the old one and see if it fares any better. I think.
Well, just looking it up now, I saw that this anime is an adaptation of a manga called Battle Athletes blah 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 Restart, which is in the same.
Oh, the manga is a restart too.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's interesting.
Oh, okay. I assumed it was just a restart of the original manga that was
Yeah.
adapted in Battle Athletes Victory, which is the 90s anime. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's some stuff to be sorted out there, I guess. But
yeah. Well, to get to that later, perhaps if necessary.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it makes it past the first episode, and if it does, maybe I'll dig into it deeper and figure out what the actual provenance of this anime is.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Fairy Ranmaru, Anata no Kokoro Otasuke Shimasu. That is the English title according to my list. So it doesn't seem like they have an English translation. What I have written here, it says cute boys being suave. Is that a genre?
It is now.
It's its own genre. It has defined its own genre. It's like cute girls doing cute things, but it's cute boys being suave. Yeah.
So it says it follows 5 young men who work at the mysterious Bar F and who offer to heal the hearts of their clients. So it sounds like a host club.
Yes, I suppose so. I don't remember the trailer or anything for this.
Yeah.
I mean, cute boys generally is just sort of a pass from me. There's not very many of those that I've watched and continued watching.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like some anime are just delivering an aesthetic or a feeling or a mood or, something along those lines and not trying to do much else. And this seems
and this is like, there are fans out there for this genre. Exactly. I'm sure, that will probably love this. But I don't think I'm their target demographic.
Same.
Yeah.
And there's nothing too unique about it to check it out. So.
Next up, I've got Yuki Yuna wa Yusha de Aru Chutoro. Yu Chutoro. It's a short, and it's based on a smartphone game, which is in turn based on Yu Yu Yu, which is something that I don't really know much about, but it's an existing property of some sort. From what I'm able to, I think live action property.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it, but it is an anime based on a smartphone game, which means that I'm gonna pass.
Same.
Then we've got an anime based on a card game, Vanguard, another Vanguard show. George and I both tried to watch Card Fight Vanguard several years
I keep
ago.
trying to forget about this. Keep bringing it up.
And the I think the original Card Fight Vanguard anime we tried to watch, and I say tried to watch because it was so much about the game that we didn't know, and it seemed like very oriented towards kids, and this one seems like just a reboot with different characters, and they're going to explain how to play the game again to try and get more people into playing the game. Yeah, it's just a pass.
Yes. Same.
Yeah. Not too much to say about that.
There's a couple more interesting things for me in this list, but we're reaching the near the bottom of the barrel here.
There's going to be a lot more skips coming up.
Stick with us.
I mean, my list was yes for a lot of it, and it's a lot more no's down here. We're at what is this? Number 46 of the 60 some odd shows. So number 46 is not an anime.
Like anime?
All right. I mean, it's like anime. It's very similar to anime.
Adjacent to anime.
Of course, we're talking about Thunderbolt Fantasy. This is the 3rd season. What is this? Touri-ken Yuki?
Yes, Thunderbolt Fantasy. I am a big fan. It's a puppet show, live action puppets. They're not quite to scale of like a normal sized human, but they're pretty big, and they do crazy stuff with these puppets. They just throw them, they do a lot of, they do some like CG effects, which I think are tastefully done, but they do a lot of like in camera effects with like blood splatter and crazy sword fights and stuff. But it is an incredibly well written show. It's written by Gen Urobuchi, who wrote Madako Magica, and he wrote a bunch of other stuff. I'm drawing a blank, but it's incredible. To me, it's not anime, right? But it's,
I would say not. Yes.
But it's sort of capturing that aesthetic of anime.
Yeah, you. I don't want to say you forced me to watch it, but
I put it on.
Very highly recommended it at some point and told me about how great it was, and put it on for me to watch. And yes, like it feels like an anime, but instead of animation, it's puppets. Like it's written like, it's styled like, it generally looks like a puppet version of an anime. But still not anime to me, and I didn't really care for the kung fu fighting stuff, which is mostly what it was, kung fu magic, right? Wasn't not my genre anyway. Even in anime, it wouldn't be my genre.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't hate it. It does look good. It is an amazingly well done puppet show. I would say it's the best puppet show on TV. Maybe second to Sesame Street. I don't know.
Yeah, Muppets.
Well, Muppets aren't even on TV anymore.
Well, that's true.
They're just on the internet nowadays. But
that's true.
But yeah, no, it is really, really, really well done, and it looks really good. And I kind of understand why you like it. Like it has that anime aesthetic to it.
Well, I have to. I mean, I agree with all that. But this isn't. I'm not trying to force you, quote unquote, to watch it again. But and to me, it is incredibly well written, and I can't wait to, now that we're doing this podcast, I can't wait to talk about it, because it's just such a good show. It's such a good story. The characters are so well. We were talking earlier about wanting well written characters that have arcs and that make sense, and and drag you in. And this show, like, it doesn't need to be puppets. Like it's a really good show.
Yeah, and again, if it was animated instead of puppets, I don't think I would like it anymore.
Yeah.
It's the genre is not my thing.
Yeah.
But
which I get.
It's well written and it looks really good. Like, yeah. amazing puppet adaptation of anime.
Yeah, it's very unique. Cool. Well, I'm excited. Tune in for more puppet talk.
I didn't poop on it as much as you thought I was going to, did I?
No, that's not. Yeah, that's good. I
I'm
appreciate
willing
that.
to give it credit. No, it is really well done. Yeah. And if you're into, kung fu fighting anime, check out the puppet anime.
I mean, I will say it's less kung fu and more sword fighting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Magic fighting. There's
Yeah.
magic too, right? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
there's magic, yeah. But there's a lot of sword fighting. Like there's the action is like despite being puppets, like it's pretty dynamic, it's pretty engaging if you're into, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and what I mean, like, I imagine most of us who watch anime have at one point tried to defend anime against people that haven't watched it and been like, despite being a cartoon,
Yeah.
the action is really engaging, and it's like the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it's puppets instead. So yeah. I get it.
Yeah. And it's really, I mean, and I get it too, because it's a hard sell being like, oh, I love this puppet show. And you're like, what is wrong with you, man? Like, on paper, it sounds a lot worse than it really is. But it is so good that I am very, like, when we were talking earlier about like Super Cub would be number 2 probably to this.
Oh, okay.
If we're counting recurring shows as season 3.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's also not technically an anime, but here we are.
But it's still in our list.
Yes.
So, next up we've got Gloomy, the Naughty Grizzly. This one, you knew something about Gloomy, or you thought you knew something about Gloomy, you said?
Well, yeah, Gloomy Bear, I mean, sort of a, I don't know, like property, like fashion, kind of akin to like a Hello Kitty or something. Like Gloomy Bear's been around. I think this is the first time Gloomy Bear has a show. So despite knowing about Gloomy Bear, I don't know, like I'm curious about this, but I'm not signed up necessarily to watch all of it.
Yeah, I'm not prior to this, I was not familiar with Gloomy Bear. Like, I feel like maybe I heard the name somewhere, but I didn't really know anything about it. But I guess the concept is it's this bear who becomes a boy's pet and then grows into a full-size bear. He starts off as like a stuffed bear and grows into a full-size bear. And every once in a while becomes exceedingly violent and like kills and or eats people possibly, or at least injures them. There's a lot of blood from what I saw in I don't know. It looks cute and amusing, and I am interested enough in watching it that I will try and check it out, but at this point I don't know if or when it will be streaming anywhere. I haven't been able to find any information on where it's going to be available. So this one I'm gonna try and watch, but I may not be able to.
Yeah, same. If it's available somewhere to easily check out, I probably will. But yeah, I mean we're getting to the part of the list here of things that mostly haven't been picked up or are just strictly kids shows, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Speaking of kids shows, we've got a Shinkansen Henke Robo. I don't even want to read the whole title. It doesn't matter. It's a kids show. Not watching it.
Yeah, same.
Musical Dreamy Mix. This is a sequel to a kids show. Not watching it.
Yep. Same.
Yep. And then next up we've got Dinosaur Biyori, which looks kids-ish but isn't. It's a slice of life, but it's not tagged as being a kids show, but it has that sort of kidsy feel or look, I guess.
Yeah, but it looks cute and maybe might be funny.
Yeah, looks amusing, and I'm not sure if this is a short, but I feel like it might be.
Yeah, I think so too. I added this to my list if I can watch it somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have any idea on where it's going to be streaming or anything at this point. So yeah, if it's available, I'll check it out for sure. Next up is Youkai Watch Musical Note. I like the concept of Youkai Watch. I tried to watch the first season I actually own a whole bunch of cards from 2 different versions of the Yokai Watch trading card game. I love the property, I love the characters, but it is in fact a kids show, and like the story is just not compelling or interesting, and I just can't watch it.
Yeah. Trying to be Pokemon, but the high bar.
Yeah, but I mean,
out.
even Pokemon is like a kids show, and I can't watch it. Like I can't. It's so juvenile and just like.
Well,
I don't know.
it doesn't go anywhere, right? So it's like
And
once you've seen it, you know what to expect, and once you've seen one episode, that's
yeah, basically, it's mostly just every episode they introduce a new yokai so that they can sell a bunch of toys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Sort of like Pokemon in that way. Next we've got Shikaru Neko, which it's a short. There's not a whole lot of info about it at this point in time. It looks cute and interesting, and the fact that it's short means that I'll squeeze it in if I can find it somewhere.
Yeah.
And you're skipping?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a short. So, like you said, I mean, if you you find it streaming somewhere and share it with me, I'll probably watch it.
Okay. Yeah, it's a short. It's an easy thing to just kind of throw in, wherever. Yeah.
Especially since we've been talking about all these shows, So if I can throw another one in there, it's only like 5 minutes.
It only takes you 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It only takes me 5 minutes a week. Yeah. Mazica Party, kids show. Not watching it. Don't know anything about it.
Same.
Duel Masters King. This is, I believe, based on a card game that I never got into. It's I believe, a sequel even to an anime about a card game that I never got into. So I'm skipping.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not watching any of the stuff that remains.
All right. Well, I've got a couple.
Spoiler.
I've got a couple.
Oh, do you? Okay.
In fact, this next one, General Manager of Baby. I don't know where it's appearing on your list, but it is next on my list. It doesn't look particularly good, but it's only 5 minutes, so I'll give it 1 5-minute episode and see. It could be, it could be all right.
Fun. It looks like it might be like sort of like a gag anime or something.
Yeah. And this is, again, I don't know where it's going to be available, so I don't know if I'll even be able to watch it, but I'll try.
Yeah.
And this one is one's actually coming out sooner than anything else. This is going to be out on the 28th, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Is when it's debuting on wherever it's debuting. I don't even know. Next up, we've got Space Academy, which I think I remember you having positive things to say about this one when we watched a trailer, I think, for it. But it looks like a slice of life show. Looks okay. It's the Japanese is Uchu Nanchara Koetsu-kun. That helps you find it? No? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Space Academy. Little bears, right?
Yeah.
Little bears in space.
Bears in space.
Bears in space. Yeah, it looks cute. Like I say, it looks like it's probably a slice of life based on what I was able to find, and I'll be checking it out if I can. Next up is another kids show, which it's a second season of a kids show. Moto Majime ni I'm not even gonna bother to say the title because it's a kids show. It's a second season. It looks cute. The animation looks cute, but kids shows just don't have the depth that I like.
Yeah, I mean, if it was that good, I feel like it would be more well known.
Yeah, and it's on a second season, so yeah. And then next we've got Ice Cream, which is another kids show. Skipping.
Yeah.
We've got Sushi Sumo, which looks to be a short. I'm not 100% sure on that. And it looks to be like maybe claymation or stop motion or something. I'm not sure if it's animated or stop motion.
Based on a picture book, it says. Yeah,
I couldn't find a lot of information on it, but if it's available, I'll check it out. It looks silly and fun.
We like sushi and we like anime, so
and sushi, sumo wrestling sushi pieces.
Yeah, I could see it. Sure.
All right, and then we're into the ONA list. So this is not on your list, and I don't expect that you'll be watching any of these. They're only on my list because I'm going to be watching all of these.
Of course.
The Way of the House Husband. It is on Netflix. It this is the one that it's like the former Yakuza boss turns into a house husband.
Mr. Mom.
Yeah, and it's a slice of life, and
Okay.
it's probably a short or let me see here. Yeah, it's a 5 minute. It's a 5 minute. So yeah, I'm gonna. No, it's not a 5 minute. It's on day 5 of the week. Is what that 5 was. Never mind. But it looks, it looks amusing. I'll check it out. It could be funny. It could be garbage.
Yeah.
Roll of the dice. Only
I'm curious.
And then we've got Eden.
Not to be confused with Eden Zero.
Right. Eden, another ONA. This one is only 4 episodes, and it is also on Netflix. Potentially coming out on a weekly basis, or maybe it's all being dropped at the same time. I don't know exactly, but it looks pretty great. Like animation, it's not a lot to go on the story, but like the animation looks pretty great, and yeah, I'll check it out. And then we've got Yasuke, which is another one that is on Netflix. Netflix original, I suppose, probably. All of these, I believe, are Netflix originals. That's why they're ONAs.
Oh, okay.
This one looks like it's possibly mecha, or it is mecha. There's mecha in this, but there's not a lot of info available to go on for this. So I don't really know that much about it. It just, it looks like mecha, but I'll check it out. And if it's not super mecha, I might watch some more of it.
Okay.
But as it goes now, I'm gonna watch probably at least one.
Okay.
Assuming it even comes out on Netflix anytime soon, which again,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even happening for sure.
Yeah. I'm skeptical, but it would be cool if they started doing that.
And then last on the list, I've got continuing animations. Is there anything continuing from previous seasons that you are going to continue watching? I said continue too many times. It sounds weird now.
You're trying to shame me for not being caught up on anything.
I didn't say that.
Well, that's just my own insecurities. And I don't know. Run through the list. I mean, nothing I can think of. I mean,
I don't have a list. I've got one thing that I am watching
okay.
on the list that is continuing. I was just wondering, like, if most of the shows that you were watching from last season are not continuing.
Yeah. Like, I don't think Promised Neverland is continuing.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, everything's done. I know that Attack on Titan should be finishing, but if you're
it's
watching,
on its own schedule.
If you're watching the simul dub, then it's going to push into April a ways, I guess. But so I'm a Spider, so what?
Oh, okay.
Is continuing. It's 24 episodes. There, I think 12 in now, or maybe there's only 11 currently as of recording, but by the time this comes out, there'll be 12. And yeah, it's funny because that show, like, when I started watching it, I thought, oh, this is cute, the spider's cute and everything, and then it's just standard isekai stuff, and there's like this one thing about it that makes it feel different than other isekai, I guess, which I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say, but I still kind of, I guess, I don't know, lost interest, just didn't think it was going anywhere, didn't know where it was going, but didn't think it was going anywhere that I cared about or anything. So I actually dropped this show last season. And then after a couple of weeks of not watching it, I found myself wanting to watch more of it.
Oh, wow.
So I picked it back up and caught up, and I've been watching it every week as it comes out. And I'm not saying it's an amazing show or anything, but it's interesting. Like, there's enough little twists and things going on, and the main character of the spider is very likable. Some of the other characters are also somewhat likable. Some of the characters don't have any depth and are uninteresting, but that's bound to happen. So yeah, it is one that I'm going to continue watching. I don't know not 100% sure where it's going still, which is where I felt, back at the beginning of the season, like I don't know exactly where this is going, what it's building to or anything like that. It's given us more clues of probably where we're going to end up. And it seems interesting to see how we get there.
Okay. Interesting.
So, yeah.
So
I'm in for at least a few more, if not for the full season, because it's another 12-ish episodes.
Would you say it has legs?
No, because that would be way too punny. But honestly, no, I wouldn't say legs. I think in a year's time, no one's going to remember this anime. But as it's coming out, watching it, it's interesting enough to keep me wanting to come back and watch it. Enough to have dropped it and then come back.
Yeah, that says something that you were thinking about it.
Yeah, it was still like in my mind somewhere, and I was like, whatever happened to that spider girl, or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever.
Or whatever.
Nice.
And so that's the end of the list. We made it through.
Woohoo!
I have no idea how long this is. Hopefully it's a reasonable amount of time. If you made it all the way through, thank you for listening.
Likewise.
If you would like to know more about when our podcasts are coming out, we have a webpage, which is anime.toyboat.net, and our schedule will be on there. We're planning currently to be releasing 3 episodes every week for at least the first several weeks of the season until we pare down our shows to a more reasonable number of anime to watch. And then we'll be probably going to 2 shows. And then towards the end of the season, we'll probably go to 1 show while we do our next What to Watch. But all that information available on anime.toyboat.net. If you're listening to this, you already know where to find us on your podcast service, I suppose. So, subscribe, please. If you're watching/listening on YouTube, give us a like. That would be great. Yeah, you can find us basically everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Umlike Anime. That's UMLIKEANIME. Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.